Welcome to Mrs. V's Reading Corner, where you can enjoy books for educational, fun, or even bedtime stories. Please take the time to like this video, comment below with how you enjoyed it, book suggestions, and more. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel to get all the new books that I post first. Exploding Ants by Joanne Settel. Amazing facts about how animals adapt. Why animals do gross things. Animals often do things that seem gross to us. They eat foods that people would find nauseating. They make their homes in disgusting places and feed on mucus and blood. They swell or blow up their body parts. But while these behaviors are nasty to us, they are crucial to life on Earth. They make it possible for many kinds of living things to find food, shelter, and safety. Different species make use of every possible space and gobble down every nutritious crumb of food in the natural world. If every species of animal ate the same kind of food or lived in the same place, there simply wouldn't be enough to go around. It will become impossible for all the species to survive. So instead, animals specialize. One predator eats flesh, while another feeds on blood. As a result, when it comes to eating, nothing is wasted. Almost every part of every living animal, from skin to dung to mucus, can provide food from some other species. All of these things contain good nutrients. An animal that has the right digestive organs and chemicals can easily break them down. Similarly, when it comes to finding shelter, animals make use of any hole or space or building material that they can find. For example, the smelly, slimy holes and organs inside the body of a bigger animal can often provide a warm, protective home for small animals like insects. Finally, animals often put their body parts to good use. Animals don't have bags to carry things around, tools to open things, knives to cut things, or weapons to defend themselves. Instead, they use their own bodies in ways that seem gross to us by stretching, swelling, and bursting open. They can trick predators, store food, swallow big gulps, and defend their nests. Swelling, expanding, and exploding bodies. Living honey jars. The swollen sacs of nectar that hang from the roof of a honey and nest are actually alive. They're the fat bodies of ants that have turned themselves into living honey jars. The honey jars are worker ants that store food and are known as repletes. Repletes spend their lives hanging upside down from the roof of their nest, waiting to feed or be fed. The bodies provide sterile, airtight food containers. It is when the colony has lots of extra food that the repletes get fed. Each replete receives regurgitated or spit up food from hundreds of ordinary working ants. The food consists of a golden liquid filled with pre-digested mix of termite parts and plant nectar. As they take in more and more food, the repletes swell. Soon, their rear ends or abdomens are as huge as small grapes. Then the swollen ants then climb to the roof of the nest and continue to eat. They remain on the roof for months, hanging by their claws, barely able to move. If for some reason a replete falls down, other workers must help drag its large balloon like body back up to the ceiling. When food supply outside the nest run low, the replete becomes the feeder. Hungry nest mates now gather round for food. They touch the replete's antlers with their own. The replete then regurgitates big drops of golden honey. The extra food provided by the replete is important to the colony's survival. Honey ants live in large colonies in dry desert regions of North America, Africa, and Australia, where food is often scarce. Storing food in their living honey jars enables the colony to make it through the hottest, driest desert seasons. The sweet honey of the honey ant repletes is not only food for other ants, but also for some people. The Aborigines in Australia consider the swollen honey ants to be sweet treats and pop them into their mouths like candy. Exploding ants. Soldier ants of the species Camponotus sardici are designed to explode. These ants make themselves burst to defend their colony from other invading insects. When ants explode, they spray out a sticky chemical that kills or glues their opponents in place. Camponotus ants manufacture their deadly chemicals inside their own bodies. The chemicals are stored in two big sacs called mandibular glands. These glands take up most of the ant's body opening, just under the mandibles or jaws. When an intruder approaches, the Camponotus ant will release small amounts of its special chemical to warn away the invader. If the intruder actually attacks, however, the Camponotus ant takes the next step. It violently contracts or tightens its muscles, bursting open and spewing out its deadly chemical. Camponotus ants aren't the only insects with this unusual behavior. It turns out that soldiers of the termite species Glomeronus sulphureus are also exploders, bursting open when threatened and spraying a sticky yellow liquid all over their opponent. Getting it down. All ball of bones. Every evening before it goes out to hunt, an owl spits up a few balls of fur and bones. The balls and pellets are what's left of the owl's last meal. An owl preys on small animals such as mice, moles, shrews, birds, and insects. When the feathered predator captures its prey, it doesn't take the time to kill its victim and then pick out the fleshy, nutritious parts. It simply swallows the animal whole. Then the owl digests all the soft stuff, the muscles and organs. The rest, the fur, feathers, teeth, and bones, are waste. The owl gets rid of these by regurgitating a pellet. Owls normally spits up 2 pellets a day. Over time, the pellets pile up and form large heaps under the owl's roosting or nesting site. By examining these pellets, scientists can learn all about an owl's diet. A pellet of a barn owl for example, usually contains entire skeletons of 2 or 3 mammals, lots of fur, and insect parts. That means that the barn owl gulps down around 6 small mammals a day. 6 small mammals at 2 to 6 ounces each seems like a lot of meat for a bird that weighs less than 1 pound. The 12-ounce owl, however, doesn't get fat on this feast. Most of its food is just the fur and bones that get chucked up as round pellets. Big gulps. Gulping down a whole pig or chicken may sound like an impossible task for a snake, but it's no big deal for a 20-foot python. In fact, many snakes often swallow food much bigger than their own heads. Even very small snakes may feast on mice, rats, birds, frogs, and whole eggs. The snake's ability to swallow big prey results from the special design of its jaw. The bones on its mouth are loosely joined to its skull. A stretchy strip of tissue, called a ligament, holds together the 2 halves of the lower jaw. When the snake swallows its dinner, its mouth can stretch wide open. The lower jawbone spreads apart and each bone moves separately to pull the prey into the mouth. Snakes generally try to gulp down their food head first. This causes the prey's legs to fold back as the snake swallows. In addition, the snake's teeth are curved backward, preventing the squirming prey from wiggling back out. As the snake works its food down its throat, it pushes its windpipe out of its stomach. This means that it doesn't have to stop breathing as it swallows. Because snakes eat such big meals, they don't need to eat every day. Most snakes only have to grab a meal once a week, and some only eat once every month. Large pythons hold the record, however. After feasting on a pig or chicken, these huge snakes can go for more than a year without other food. The end.